a speaker, a third speaker for our conference. It's a little bit too loud, I think, huh? It's okay? We were looking for a... Come on, gentlemen. Yeah, but I can stand back here. Okay? Is it better now? Good. What's too much trouble? Too much trouble. Should I talk deeper? Deeper. Okay. We were looking for another speaker for the conference, and we talked to some people on the East Coast who were at the Atlantic Coast Sai retreat, which was on Memorial Day. And they said, we have this guy, Michael McCarty. You've got to get Michael McCarty. And he's out from Los Angeles, and he's a professional storyteller. And I said, he's a what? And they said, a professional storyteller. I said, well, that'll be my first question for Michael when he comes up here, is to tell us what a storyteller is and how that can be professional. Anyway, I talked to some other people. They said, this guy Michael was terrific. I called up Bill Harvey, who's one of the national council members. And he said, how did your conference go? Did you finally line up people and stuff? I said, yep. And I said, we've got Jonathan Roof, we've got Saral Ram, and we've got Michael McCarty. And he started laughing when I said Michael McCarty. And he said, he's a trip. So I guess the appropriate advice that I can give to you now before Michael comes up to speak is just fasten your seatbelts. This is Michael McCarty.
Whee! Okay, Jay Sai Baba. That's a very weak Sai Baba. Baba would be displeased. Jay Sai Baba. That's better. Balvika's Kaz, y'all do it better tomorrow, okay? Okay. Well, to answer your question, I am a professional storyteller. I get paid to run my mouth. This is what I do for a living. And it's all thanks to the best employment agent on the planet. I recommend him very, very highly. He does great work. The commission, well, we'll talk about that a little bit later, okay? So I like to start off my talk sometime in a very unusual manner, as I am a very unusual creature, so I've been told. Usually we're going to have a question and answer period at the end. I like to start off with a couple of questions. So let me get a couple of questions about me, my relationship with Baba, what have you, the secrets to the keys to the universe, or anything like that. So let me get a couple of questions from anybody who's got, yes? Good one. I couldn't have paid for him to say that better. Okay. Anyone else? I need another question or two. Any, what the heck? Any question? Come up with something. Yes. Okay. Okay. What got me to Baba? Yeah. Well, the first question was, how did I come to Baba? What made me get there? And I see another question there.
How long ago did you come into Baba's office?
Okay, all right.
What do you want out of life?
Oh, yeah, now we're getting deep. Okay, all right. Now, during the course of my running my mouth for the next hour or so, I will deal with all of those questions. How did I come to Baba? Let's start from there. Or how did I get there? Last night, coming from the airport, we, Jonathan, Rick, and we were discussing the fact that Baba is the master of the sting. Okay? For those of you who are not initiated, a sting is a setup. All right? A grand scheme setup. And no one is better at it than our fuzzy-haired friend. 1982. April 1982, I'm living in Chicago, and I begin a trip traveling around the world. And I'm going to various countries. The impetus for the trip was to go to Sri Lanka to take an acupuncture course. And I was going to Sri Lanka, I was going to London, I was going to New York, and I was stopping out in San Francisco. And I said, heck, I'm going around the world. I should make some more stops. So I started filling in my trip with a variety of different places. Now, my purpose was to go to I was going to some of the healing and spiritual and degenerate places of the world, with a heavy emphasis on the latter. There are children present, so we won't go into the details. And I wasn't into any of this spiritual stuff at this particular point in time in my life. In fact, at this point in my life, I would not stay in a conversation that had anything to do with God. If you were in my apartment and you wanted to talk about God, you had to take that someplace else, because I don't want to hear it. Okay? I had grown up, raised Catholic, seen a lot of hypocrisy within Catholicism and just people who would say that they were religious folks in general, so I had gotten totally turned off to that. But my first stop from Chicago was San Francisco. I was visiting this friend of mine, and I was going to India for decidedly non-spiritual purposes. I was going to India to indulge in substances that are put in pipes and wrapped in papers. All right? Little did I know that I would go there and get the ultimate high. Well, I stopped in San Francisco. I'm staying with this friend of mine. He said, Mike, you're going to India. You got to read this book. And he gives me Autobiography of a Yogi. Now, as I said, up until this point, if I even saw God in the book, I put it down. But I started reading this book. I'm like, whoa, this is some deep stuff. So I'm just reading and reading and reading. And something gets started. The setup is in motion. Okay? So as I traveled from country to country, I went from San Francisco to Hawaii, to Beijing, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Bali, Thailand. At every step I'm going along the way, I keep finding myself getting little chinks in my armor of resistance to spiritual stuff. Little spiritual stuff is starting to like seep in, you know. Oh, get in there. Whoa, get in that little crack. Oh, it's getting in there. I go to Sri Lanka. I'm taking this acupuncture course. There's this Swedish woman who's also there at the hospital taking this course. She's a Sai Baba devotee. Now, I went by her room one day, and she has a picture of Baba on an altar. My first thought is, yo, what's up? Who is this brother, and why is she praying to him? What's the deal? Okay? Okay?